Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving deep into something pretty essential, really. Fire safety and evacuation plans. We've got a whole bunch of sources, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from basic Red Cross tips to these in-depth guides on getting out of house fires
Right.
and even wildfires. You know,
Yeah.
we all know fire is dangerous, but honestly, one stat just floored me. A house fire, it can become inescapable in just 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
That's less time than it takes to make coffee.
Wow. That's that's a scary thought. It really shows why just having a plan, it's not enough.
Right.
You got to practice it. Those actions got to become like second nature automatic. Every second matters.
Absolutely. Okay, let's break this down. So Fire Safety 101, we've got the fire triangle. You need heat, fuel, and oxygen for a fire to even start. So getting rid of any one of those things can prevent a fire in the first place.
That's it. Yeah. It's about being aware of those everyday hazards. Simple things make a difference. Unplugging stuff when you're not using it, keeping anything flammable away from heat, obviously. And of course,
Working smoke alarms.
working smoke alarms.
All of our sources agree. They are like your first line of defense.
For sure.
They all say you got to have interconnected smoke alarms on every single level.
Every level, yeah.
Inside and outside of bedrooms, too.
That interconnection, that's really important.
Why is that?
Well, because it creates a web, right? So think about it. You're asleep and a fire starts in the kitchen. Even if that closest alarm is quiet, the one in your bedroom will go off. It gives you precious time to react.
That's a smart system. They also recommend testing them monthly, replacing batteries at least once a year.
Yeah, it's a small thing to do,
Yeah.
but it can make a huge difference. And for people who are deaf or hard of hearing,
Right.
WebMD and MRA Safety specifically say you should have strobe alarms.
So you have a visual cue.
Exactly.
Good point. All right, let's talk escape routes. Every single source, every single one said you got to have 2 ways out of every room.
2 is 1 and 1 is none.
Exactly.
Fires are unpredictable.
Yeah.
Your main way out could be blocked by smoke or flames. Having that second option and knowing it automatically could literally save your life.
And about escape routes, everyone agrees. Avoid elevators. Stairs are the way to go. And this really stood out to me. A closed door, it can really slow down a fire.
Yeah. Remember that 900-degree difference we talked about?
Yeah.
Rooms with closed doors stayed relatively cool,
Wow.
while open doors, temperatures reached over 1,000 degrees.
That's crazy.
It just shows a simple action can have a huge impact.
Huge. So those fire drills we had in school, they
Yeah.
weren't just to get us out of class, were they?
Nope. Family fire drills are just as important.
Okay.
A lot of sources recommend doing them at least twice a year, once during the day, once at night.
WebMD actually says to involve kids in the drills,
Yeah.
teaching them to check doors for heat, how to escape on their own.
It's not just about us, right?
Yeah.
It's about everyone in the house being able to react.
And MRA Safety goes even further, suggesting we practice using,
What, like equipment?
stuff like escape hoods, respirators, even child-sized ones.
It might seem extreme, but think about it. If a fire happens, having that stuff ready, knowing how to use it, could be life-saving.
Okay, so let's say we've escaped. Now what? Every source talks about needing a designated meeting point.
Yeah, a safe spot, a good distance from your home. Everyone gathers there after getting out.
So you know everyone's safe.
Yeah. The Red Cross also suggests having an emergency communication plan for the family. Cell phones might not work.
Right.
So knowing who to call, where to go, it can help reunite everyone quicker.
Like a backup plan, just in case.
Exactly. And for people living in apartments, especially high-rises, WebMD and WikiHow, they say it's crucial to know your building's fire safety stuff. Exit stairs, procedures, and especially if there's a sprinkler system. Sprinklers can literally be the difference between life and death.
Yeah.
They often control or even put out a fire before it gets out of control.
That's good to know. And what about security bars on windows? Kind of tricky, right? You want security, but they could trap you in a fire.
Yeah, it's a balance. But Real Simple has a good solution. Quick release kits. You can quickly detach those bars and get out safely.
So thinking ahead, what if, even with all this, we end up trapped?
Scary thought, but WikiHow has some survival tips. You basically seal the room as best you can.
Yeah.
Wet towels and sheets to block smoke under the door and vents.
Okay.
And never forget, call 911 even if you're trapped.
Right.
Tell them exactly where you are. It helps firefighters find you. They also say to signal from a window. Use a flashlight or a bright cloth.
So they can see you.
Exactly.
Now, wildfires,
Yeah.
whole different situation.
Whole different ballgame.
Yeah, WikiHow emphasizes if you're in a wildfire, go downhill and upwind.
Downhill, upwind. Got it.
But what if you're surrounded by flames? What
Now,
then?
WikiHow actually suggests if you can't escape, dig a trench and cover yourself with dirt. It's a last resort, but it could increase your chances.
Wow. Okay. Any other wildfire tips?
Yeah, they say understand wildfire risks before going into those areas, right?
Yeah.
Weather conditions, drought, all that stuff.
So check with park rangers or something before hiking.
Exactly. Be informed.
Makes sense. Wow, we've covered a lot. Smoke alarms, escape routes, even wildfires. The main things seem to be preparedness, practice, thinking ahead.
It's about understanding why you're doing what you're doing.
Mm,
Like knowing that closed door could make a 900-degree difference.
Yeah.
It makes you think twice about leaving it open. Yeah.
it really does.
But we're not done yet.
There's more.
Oh, yeah. Next time, we'll dig into specific fire safety gear and what not to do in a fire. Don't go anywhere.
Mhm.
It's interesting, go through all this practical stuff.
Yeah.
How many sources focus on, the mental side of fire safety?
The mental side.
Yeah. It's not just having the plan, it's being mentally ready to actually do it
Yeah.
when things get crazy.
Ah, like those simulations they do for astronauts, right?
Exactly. UMRE Safety, they talk about how practicing your escape, even putting on the gear,
Yeah.
it builds muscle memory, makes it instinct in a real fire.
Makes sense.
Like athletes training for the big game,
Right.
they've practiced those plays so much, they just do it without thinking under pressure.
That's a good analogy. And speaking of gear, MyRA Safety is all about having that PPE ready. PPE.
Personal protective equipment,
Ah, right.
like fire hoods, gas masks,
What?
especially if you're in a wildfire zone,
Okay.
even respirators for kids. Keep them near bedrooms or escape roads.
So having it there, just knowing it's there,
Yeah.
could help you stay calm in those first few moments when you're trying to get out.
Like a safety net. Speaking of which, let's talk about what not to do in a fire.
Okay.
It might seem obvious, but WikiHow specifically says never run back into a burning building.
Yeah, you always hear those stories.
It's tempting to think I can grab this one thing or I can put it out myself.
Right, like the movies
But in reality, that's how more people get hurt.
Wow.
Leave the rescuing to the professionals.
for the firefighters.
Yeah, they have the training, the equipment. And speaking of professionals, a lot of sources say closing doors as you escape.
Okay.
WebMD even calls it potentially life-saving.
Really? So it's more than just keeping the fire in one room.
Right. WikiHow points out in big buildings like high-rises,
Mm-hmm.
open doors can be like chimneys.
Oh, wow.
Smoke and flames spread so fast, closed doors act as barriers.
Weird.
Gives everyone more time to get out, and firefighters can get to the fire quicker.
So it helps everyone.
Yeah. Simple action, big impact. Let's switch gears, look at some practical things people forget.
Like what?
MRA Safety really stresses keeping escape paths clear. No clutter, boxes, furniture blocking doorways or windows.
I'm guilty of that.
We've all been there, tripping over shoes by the door.
Yeah.
But in a fire, every second counts. They also say make sure doors and windows open easily.
Okay.
No sticking locks, jammed windows. Think ahead, right?
Right. And what about fire extinguishers?
Ah, yes. MIR Safety says they can be crucial for putting out small fires before they get out of control.
So not just decoration.
Exactly. Keep one near the kitchen, power tools, each floor.
Makes sense.
But here's the thing. Practice using them.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
They're heavier than you think. You don't want to be figuring it out during a fire.
For sure. We talked about security bars earlier.
Right, that balance between safety and escape.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, real simple suggestion. Those quick release kits.
Right.
So you have both security and a way out.
Smart. So many things to consider.
Yeah, finding that right balance for your situation. Now let's talk about something a lot of people don't think about. Wildfires.
Wildfires. To be honest, I've never really thought about preparing for those. It always felt like something that happens out there, not something I need to worry about in my own life.
It's becoming more important, especially with climate change.
Oh,
Hotter, drier conditions, perfect for wildfires.
makes them spread faster.
Exactly. WikiHow stresses if you're in a wildfire, move downhill and upwind.
Downhill, upwind. Got it. But what if you're surrounded?
Okay, this is the last resort, but WikiHow says if you can't escape, dig a trench and cover yourself with dirt.
Wow. Intense. Any other wildfire tips?
Understand the risks before going to those areas.
Yeah.
Weather, drought, all that.
So check with park rangers or something before going hiking.
Absolutely. Okay, we've covered a ton. Smoke alarms to security bars, even wildfires. Seems like the key is thinking ahead, being prepared.
Being proactive, not reactive.
Exactly. But sometimes, even when we try our best, we make mistakes. What are some common pitfalls people fall into when it comes to fire safety?
That's a good question. Are there any common things people do wrong?
Oh yeah, FEMA, they point out one of the biggest mistakes is ignoring the plan.
You make it and then just forget about it.
Exactly. You feel good about yourself, then it sits in a drawer until something happens.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly. They also say not including everyone in the planning. People are more likely to follow a plan they help make.
Right.
So get everyone involved, even the kids.
Makes sense.
If everyone feels ownership, they'll take it more seriously. And what about updating the plan? Life changes. Families grow.
Yeah, things change.
Area Safety says regular reviews and updates are crucial.
Don't just make it once and forget about it.
Exactly. Check it every 6 months. See if anything needs changing.
So practice the plan, update it, involve everyone. Got it. Any other fire safety no-nos?
FEMA says overlooking alternate escape routes.
Oh, right. We talked about 2 ways out.
Easy to just focus on the main one. Forget about the less obvious ones.
That's where those fire drills come in handy.
Exactly. Practicing different things helps you think fast if your main route is blocked. I'm definitely going to be paying more attention to those alternate escape routes from now on. It's amazing how even a simple window can become a lifeline in a fire.
Yeah, you never know.
And that brings us to another thing people forget. Making sure those escape routes are actually accessible.
You mean like windows that aren't painted shut?
Yeah. Security bars with quick release things, no furniture blocking exits, clear hallways, escape ladders ready.
All those little details.
Exactly. You got to eliminate anything that could slow you down or even trap you.
It's not just having the route, it's making sure you can use it.
Exactly. And it shows the bigger picture of fire safety. Thinking ahead, paying attention, making preparedness part of your life.
Not living in fear, but being ready.
Exactly. You're not just surviving a fire, you're living with peace of mind, knowing you're prepared.
I like that. Taking control, being proactive. But hearing all this, it can feel overwhelming.
Yeah, where do you even start, right?
Yep. What's the most important first step?
Awareness. Look around your home, your habits.
Really see it.
Identify those fire hazards.
Yeah.
Once you know the risks, you can start preventing them.
Like not leaving cooking unattended.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Simple things. And then create that escape plan. Practice it. Add layers of preparedness, like the equipment, learning about wildfires.
One step at a time.
Exactly. Fire safety is a journey, not a destination.
I like that. So knowledge is power, right? The more you know.
Yeah, the more confident you'll feel.
You can face danger head on.
It's about having knowledge, practice, and common sense. Because preparation, that's the best protection. But wait, there's more.
For more.
In our final part, we'll look at how fire safety connects to a bigger global issue. Stick around.
Wow, we've really gone deep on this, haven't we? From smoke alarms to escape routes, even what to do in a wildfire. But thinking about it all, something's been kind of bugging me.
Oh, what's that?
Well, we focused on the immediate stuff, how to escape,
Yeah.
But what about why these fires, especially the wildfires, seem to be happening more and getting worse?
You're right. None of the sources directly talked about it, but there's a definite link between all this fire safety stuff and, well,
And climate change.
climate change.
I don't know.
I mean, we see the headlines, those terrible wildfires.
You're right. In California, Australia?
It's easy to think it's far away, not affecting us directly.
I kind of felt that way, yeah.
But the thing is, climate change is making things hotter and drier everywhere. That's like fuel for wildfires.
So it's not just about being ready for a fire in our house. It's about a global problem causing local problems.
Exactly. And it's going to keep happening more and more if things don't change.
So what do we do? I mean, how do we get ready for that?
That's the big question.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think it's something you got to keep learning about.
Okay.
It's not just reacting to a fire. It's trying to stop it from happening in the first place. Look into what plants and trees are more fire resistant.
Really?
Yeah. And there's this thing called defensible space.
Defensible space.
It's basically a zone around your house where you clear out anything flammable. Makes it way harder for a wildfire to reach you.
So landscaping is fire safety.
Kinda. And of course, supporting policies that tackle climate change. That's the big one.
Right.
It's complicated, but anything we do to reduce our impact helps.
Wow. This deep dive has really changed how I see fire safety. It's not just about having a plan. It's about the whole picture.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power, right? Helps us understand things better and make smarter choices.
Totally. So what are our big takeaways today?
Fire safety is a journey, not a one-time thing.
Okay.
Start small, keep learning, practice, get the whole family involved.
Don't wait for a fire to happen.
Exactly. Be proactive.
And tell everyone. Right. Share what we've learned.
Yes. Spread the knowledge.
We're all in this together after all.
That's it. Until next time, everyone stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe.
That's a wrap.